Welcome back to the Cumbie Show. We tell like it is, and we don't care how you feel. And up on deck today, we got the Rose Bowl. Alabama taking on Indiana. And let's see how many people I can piss off with this video today. If you want a good chuckle, a good laugh, go to my channel, click on my preview and prediction video of the Ohio State-Miami game, and just read the comments. You don't even have to watch the full video. Just read the comments and look at how furious, how angry the Ohio State man got that I didn't pick their precious Buckeyes to beat Miami. I picked Miami to win that game, and it's absolutely hilarious, some of the comments that they left. Just go there if you want a good chuckle. Just read. They truly are living up to the reputation of being some of the worst fans in all of sports. I thought it was funny. But let's get to the game that matters in this video. That is the Rose Bowl. Alabama taking on Indiana. Alabama coming into this matchup at 11-3. Indiana undefeated, 13-0, Big Ten champions. They got the Heisman winning quarterback Mendoza there. They come into this game as a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5 points. This game is January 1st, Thursday. Kickoff is 4 o'clock. I've said it in all my other videos how I wish this game was played on a Saturday. I'm actually filming this video on a Saturday. I would be great to turn in at 4 o'clock today and watch this game. But it's not what we got. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, and I think this game is actually going to be a lot better than what a lot of people are expecting. I've watched a couple of other videos, the talking heads, everyone on the internet, and they're expecting Alabama. Basically, they're counting Alabama out. And the very second you count Alabama out is when you have problems. Alabama is Alabama for a reason. I get Nick Saban's not there. I do think that Kalen DeBoer is a great head coach, but it is a step down from what Nick Saban. It doesn't matter who replaced Nick Saban. Hell, I could even say Kirby Smart. You know, I'm a Georgia guy. Even if Kirby Smart replaced Nick Saban, it's still a step down. But the second you count Alabama is when you have problems. Now, Alabama is not a perfect team. They are far from perfect. They are extremely flawed. And if they don't get some of the things we're going to talk about in this game corrected, they will lose this game. They're not going to win the national championship. And if they persist into next season, they're going to struggle next season too. So let's start with the Alabama side of the thing. Obviously, Alabama comes into this game 3 losses. Their 3 losses coming against FSU in the beginning of the season, a very embarrassing loss. Then they lost to Oklahoma in the regular season. Then got their butt whooped in the SEC championship by Georgia. That was a rematch from earlier in the season where they did go on the road and beat Georgia in Athens. And then they went to the first round. They played Oklahoma again in a rematch and won that game 34-24. So Alabama is coming off a 34-24 victory in the first round playoff against Oklahoma. And the biggest thing for me in this game for Alabama is their one-dimension on offense. Their severe lack of running game. It's not even a lie. There's zero run game. That is a huge problem for Alabama. It's been a problem all season long. It's caught up to them a couple of times, primarily the FSU game where they just were not physical. They had nothing going on the ground. It caught up to them in the SEC championship game. But I went back and looked at some of the numbers. The last 4 games that Alabama has played, here's their rushing totals for the whole game. Not for a quarter, not for half, the entire total. Last game they won, Oklahoma, 28 rushing yards. Lucky you won that game. SEC championship against Georgia, -3 yards. -3. Auburn game, the Iron Bowl, 158 yards. So better, but still nothing fantastic to write home about. 158 yards for the whole day. Now, I do think Auburn does have a solid defense, especially up front, but 158 yards. And then I didn't look at the Eastern Illinois game. I went back to the other Oklahoma game, 74 yards in the first game against Oklahoma. So 28, -3, 158, 74 yards, total rushing yards in those games. Alabama is sitting at, on average, yards per game on the run, 109, just under 110 yards per game. They're only averaging throughout the entire season 3.4 yards per attempt rushing the ball. That is not going to cut it. As an Alabama fan, look, I'm a Georgia fan. I have no reason to root for Alabama, but you got to fix that if you want to get where you want to go. As an Alabama fan, you got to be able to sit there and tell yourself that's got to get better. 3.4 yards per attempt the entire season is not going to cut it. You have won games because your defense, this defense for Alabama, is an absolute dynamite, stud, elite defense. They have been the reason Alabama has stayed in games, even the games that they lose and it's close. They're the reason why those games are close. They're the reason why Alabama has won many games. Alabama won the Iron Bowl because of their defense. The turnovers that Alabama team created, that's why they won that Iron Bowl. So looking at this game, it's very tough for me to sit here and expect. Now, we'll get to who I'm going to predict to win this game. But if Alabama wants any shot at winning this game, they got to be able to have some sort of run game. They cannot become one-dimensional against this Indiana defense, because I do believe this Indiana defense is also elite. I think they are really good. They're very fast. They can get after the quarterback. They've got 39 sacks. This Indiana defense has got 39 sacks on the year. They can definitely get after Ty Simpson. And we all know the problem. When Ty Simpson is on fire and he puts that Superman cape on, he's good. He's really good. But when he's under pressure, when his timing is off, when he's out of rhythm, out of sync, you talk about an overthrow and an underthrow machine. The man, he doesn't turn the ball over very often. I think he's only sitting at like 6-7 interceptions for the season. So he's not throwing a ton of interceptions, but he will miss a wide open receiver downfield if he is thrown off just a little bit. So Alabama has got to come into this game and they have got to be balanced. They have got to find a way to run the ball. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do it. We are 14 games in currently. Alabama has played 14 games. This is their 15th game of the season. They're getting ready to play. I don't expect them to be able to flip a switch. Could I be proven wrong? Sure, but I don't see it. So I'm very concerned for Alabama in that aspect. I've already said, hey, defense is great. I expect this Alabama defense to show up. I expect them to limit this Indiana offense as much as they can. I'm not worried about the defense at all for Alabama. It's the run game. It's the offense, primarily the run game for Bama. I think if this O-line can give Ty Simpson some time, he's going to do what he can do. But if you can't run the ball and then you become predictable and you get in third and long situations and obvious passing situation, it's going to be rough. It's going to be uphill sledding all game long. You flip it over to the Indiana side, and obviously Mendoza, we talked about him. He's a stud of a quarterback, Heisman winner. I do think this was a lackluster Heisman race this season, but he does come in as your Heisman winning quarterback. He's got some good numbers. Obviously, I already mentioned, their two linebackers, Hardy and Jones, they combined for 15 sacks on the year. This defense for Indiana has 39 total sacks on the season. So I think the defense up front is really good. Can they be able to put up enough points against this Alabama defense? That's what I'm curious about. How is Mendoza going to play? Because like I said, I do think this is one of the best defenses, top 5 defenses in the country under Alabama. What are they going to be able to do up front to slow this passing rush down from Alabama? Very curious to see that. Indiana is a 6.5-point favorite in this game. I think that's a lot of points. I said in the beginning of this video that I think this game is going to be a lot better, a lot more physical than what people are expecting. I've seen a lot of people just kind of basically counting out Alabama from the start. Give me Indiana. Oh, Alabama's losing, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't necessarily disagree. I think this game's going to be much closer. And I think it's going to be a lot better than what people are expecting. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I've got to go based off what I've seen all season long, and I don't think Alabama's going to be able to run the ball enough. Now, they've been in a couple games where they haven't ran the ball enough, and they found a way to win. Is this one of those games? I don't think so. And then we also look at how is Jan Miller coming into this game? He was obviously injured in the Iron Bowl, the running back for Alabama, injured in the Iron Bowl. He did not play in the SEC championship game. He did, however, play in the first-round playoff game against Oklahoma. But the man had 7 carries, and he rushed for 11 yards. He averaged 1.6 yards on the carry. So is he still feeling a little bit of that injury? Now, obviously, they do have 2 weeks from the last game to this game for him to recover, get a little bit better. And there is talks that Ty Simpson could also potentially be injured. There was some lingering questions about him having a shoulder injury. Is that still the case? We don't know. We probably won't know. But if Ty Simpson is also beat up and injured and he's not full health, that even goes more to me concerned about what this Alabama offense is going to be able to do production-wise. Like, where are they going to find the yards to put up the points? Because it's not in the run game. I'm telling you right now, I do not think Alabama is going to be able to run the ball on this Indiana defense. I would be completely shocked if Alabama gets over 85 rushing yards this game, because they've barely done it all season long. So key players for both of these teams with Bama, it's got to start with Ty Simpson. He's got to play his best game of the season. Cannot have turnovers. He's got to protect the ball. And if he's under pressure, man, you got to get out of the pocket and you got to pick up something. Like, because just throwing the ball away or throwing the ball to a receiver and you're overthrowing them by 5 yards, you're not going to win that game. Bernard, wide receiver, has got to step up. And Ryan Williams has got to step up in this game for Alabama if they want to get where they want to go. He seems to disappear if he's not playing Georgia. And as an Alabama fan, let me know how you feel about Williams, because last season he was the talk of the town. 17-year-old kid. Look how electric he is. Look at the numbers he put up against Georgia. My, oh my, he's on the cover of NCAA football 26, 27. I mean, this guy is elite. And then nothing. If he's not playing this team right here, it's like he's not there. Painting his fingernails, carrying his teddy bear around. Don't even get me started on that crap. But he's got to have a big game in this game. He just does. This is the time where you want to get paid, you want to be the face of a franchise, face of a team. You got to step up in this game. So Ryan Williams has got to contribute. And Jan Miller, what can he do in this game? Can he get something going? Now, the offense, he hasn't had any help from the O-line, but he's got to be able to create something himself. So is he going to be 100%, and what is he going to be able to do? And then also another key player is not just one guy, but the defense in total for Bama. What are they going to be able to do against this Indiana offense? Are they going to be able to get to Mendoza? You know, can they force this Indiana offense to some interceptions, get some turnovers, force some fumbles? I think that's where the game's going to be won for Bama, is if they can force turnovers. Flipping it back over to Indiana's side, key players for them is obviously Mendoza. Without a doubt, he is the Heisman winner. Their receiver Cooper Jr., and then their running back, Hemby. What can they do? I expect them to be able to – I expect Indiana to come in this game to want to be as perfectly balanced as possible. Physical up front on both lines of scrimmage and be as perfectly balanced as possible. And like I already mentioned their names, Hardy and Jones, combined 15 sacks on the season, 39 sacks in total for this defense. Can they get after Ty Simpson? Can they shut this run game down and get after Ty Simpson? If they can, they win this game. So with all that being said, I'm going to take Indiana to win this game. I think they beat Alabama. They're going to advance to the semifinal. I think that this Indiana offense is going to come in here extremely balanced. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game for either party, for either team. But I think this Indiana defense is going to get after. I think they're that good. I think they're going to get after Ty Simpson. They're going to make it extremely difficult for him to pass the ball. They're going to shut the run game down like every other team Alabama has faced, if you're not Eastern Illinois. And I think Indiana, the Hoosiers, get the win. They beat Alabama, send the Crimson Tide home packing, and they advance to the semifinal. Am I wrong? I could be. Would I be completely shocked if Alabama won this game? Not really. Maybe a little bit. But 6.5 points, I don't think Indiana covers. I think this is going to be a very close game, maybe a 3-point win. And I'm actually going to take the under of the 48.5. I've taken the over on all the other games, or the first two games. I'm going to take the under 48.5. I think this is going to be low scoring. I think both teams are going to struggle to get to the 20s. But I am going to take Indiana to win. Going to take Alabama to cover, and I'm taking the under of the 48.5. So give me Indiana to advance. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If I pissed you off, please let me know down in the comments, Alabama fans. But other than that, over and out.